What's up, guys? I'm Riven.
And I'm Talos.
We're the Studley Boys. Welcome back to the Studley News Network. Before we begin this episode, I just wanted to announce that we hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and we wanted to personally thank all of our subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the support and all the positive feedback. We couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah, seriously, guys, 1,000 is a huge milestone, and we definitely, like Riven said, can't do this without you guys. Thank you for all the love, support, subscribing, liking the video, sharing the video, whatever you do to show your support for us and this show. And hopefully we can keep improving this content for you guys in the future. And just press it for that next milestone, and we can do that together.
We just finished recording our breakdown for the EA Plays 2020 showcase, so if you guys are interested in watching that, we'll leave the link down in the description, as well as the timestamps and all the links to all the articles we're going to cover in this video. If you like our video, you can always support us by liking and subscribing. It's June 18th, 2020. Let's get on with the news.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, we're going to start off with some more PlayStation 5 related discussions, but this time we're going to be talking about people's opinions on the appearance of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So,
Both positive and negative, apparently.
Yeah, so just a quick recap. Last week, Sony put out their Future of Gaming press conference, and they finally unveiled the PlayStation 5. Right now, it's apparently it's divisive, the opinion regarding the way it looks.
Well, let me talk about in the reaction video. Obviously, I love the design, the way it's revealed, but there's been a lot of memes. There's been a lot of memes involving the PS5.
This last week has been just full of memes.
Yeah, like my favorite meme was when they had the PS5 in Dubai and one of the buildings, and that was placed as the PS5. Obviously, a favorite one is the router. The favorite one is the filter fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good memes out there, and obviously, like it's been divisive. But I personally like the design. But I'm looking for what this special edition would look like eventually.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it, except for the fact that we mentioned it before. It does look like like a modem.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they did they stuck with like the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4 style when it was just all black. I guess maybe that's the reason why they sort of deviated from that look. Maybe they just want to set the system apart.
They try to match it with the controller. That's the reason why they want the black and white theme. But I'm pretty sure that as we see, there was a whole blacked out version controller.
Yes.
So I'm sure there's going to be a blacked out version of the PS5 as well.
Right. Let's take a look at the article real quick, because a couple of people on Twitter were giving their opinions. Here's what the rest of the staff thought, ranked from most positive to most negative. I loved it. Weird, alien, and bizarre, says Henry T.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's okay, says Roland. It looks like a stormtrooper made love to an Art Deco lamp. I actually don't hate it. That's one of the funnier ones. It looks like Dell's adult gamer hardware, which is to say lame, but not as lame as a full-on gamer hardware. I think it's bizarre, kind of ugly, says Mike. From what we can gather, the rest of the internet shared our ambivalence. So yeah, it was definitely divisive. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I mean, let's be real here. It's not going to affect the sale of the PlayStation. People are still going to buy it. And going into the next article here, Sony is claiming that the PlayStation 5 is going to be very customizable. According to this article, if you don't like the PS5 design, PS5 special editions will offer options beyond anything seen before.
See, that's kind of interesting. Like I kind of talked about this with my friends, but I can imagine the LED light inside can be customized, maybe through the settings inside. Maybe the exterior shell, if you want to call it that, can be taken out and add in a different shell.
Yeah, apart from all the memes, there have been like different colors that people have put out for it.
Like variations.
Yeah. So like there's like like a really cool one I saw was like a black and red, which
cool.
Kind
of like the Darth Vader theme almost.
Yeah. And some people even started adding like designs on the actual PlayStation itself, like decals and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely see that for sure. Decals are definitely going to be an added plus for the console.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the article real quick. Not a fan of the PS5 design? Well, don't worry, as there will be plenty of PS5 special editions available that will offer an alternative to the future white PlayStation 5, and with more customizable options than we've seen in the past consoles. It doesn't sound like they're giving you the option to change its appearance, but they will be giving you the option to buy different versions of the PlayStation 5.
Ooh.
So maybe they might offer a more sleeker, like less modem looking one, and possibly different colors with different decals. So
I mean, when you think about the PS4 or even PS3, we had the slim version, we had the pro version, we had the fat version. I guess one of them would be like a router version. One of them is like a non-router version. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, go into the memes about the size of it. Obviously, the PS5 side is for power and cooling, but according to this, we have a side-by-side. But according to this, we have a picture of it side-by-side with the other PlayStation consoles, and it is indeed massive.
That's a pretty big. It almost feels like a PC tower, almost.
Yeah. I might have to look at my PS3 to see like how much bigger. It was like another like. It almost was like another 3 inches bigger.
Yeah, but I don't know if they specified what type of cooling system it's going to utilize, though, right?
I don't think they talk specifics on internal components yet. But that's definitely something that people could be interested in. It's like how much power and what's actually inside and what's cooling this baby.
Yeah.
Now, according to this article, it looks like a predicted price for the PS5 is $500 to $550. And if that's going to be a problem for consumers. I mean, I briefly talked about this before, but that does sound like it's right around the ballpark I was thinking of, $499 plus tax. But if it's like $550 plus tax, then that's kind of getting up to like the $600 values. It's not going to affect me personally because I'll still get it, but I can see why people might be a little bit more hesitant. But if it's at that 500 range, with the tax being closer to 550, then I think that's still pretty reasonable.
Right. I think we mentioned it before in our previous videos that the supplies for it are limited because of COVID. It's affected. It's not exactly the production of it, but the parts needed to produce it have been affected by COVID. So that's also affecting the price for it. Let's take a look at this article real quick. Sony's targeting $550 price for PS5. This follows recent reports that costs for PS5 parts were going up, and if scarcity increases because of COVID disruptions, that could push the price to even higher end of the spectrum. And Sony will make less units, assuming lesser demands. Do you think just COVID in general is gonna prevent consumers from purchasing any of these systems?
That's definitely a factor that we have to consider.
Right. Yeah. Not to mention with the quarantines, right? People have been furloughed from work, right? There's mass unemployment right now, and money's scarce. So
gaming's probably not in the forefront of their mind at all.
Right. Right now, so most people are trying to just survive or barely make it. So yeah, like you said, they may not be thinking about games, but then again, we kept finding articles that say that that despite the quarantine and mass unemployment, gaming has still been the most productive it's ever been, right? Like the gaming industry.
Yep, and we'll definitely talk about that. We have a couple articles. We'll definitely go into more detail with that later.
Yeah. So they've been flourishing in this quarantine. So that indicates that no matter what, how bad things get, if people don't have money, people will still invest in video games because if it helps them deal with all the issues that are going on in the world right now, people will buy it just so they have the opportunity to take them out of the real world. So
now, given the competition between Microsoft and Sony, will this price difference make a huge difference in sales between the two consoles? I don't think it will, only because of launch titles. if they have strong enough
Yes.
launch titles, I think PS5 could still win this year, so to speak.
Right.
But it's still kind of pushing that upper echelon tier.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, 500 to 550 isn't really that crazy. I think when the PlayStation 3 came out, right? I believe that was like 600.
Yeah, 600, 650 plus tax. Yeah.
Yeah, and that didn't really stop people from buying the PlayStation 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if they stick to the 500 550 price point, I think they'll be okay. And like you mentioned before, their library of games are pretty good right now. So it's kind of hard not to to pass up on a PlayStation 5.
Now, going with that, I guess the next article is the rumored price for the Xbox.
The pricing for the PlayStation 5 is it's dependent on what price Microsoft sets for the Xbox Series X. We still don't know what that is yet. They might reveal it in their July Microsoft showcase, but at the moment it's rumored to be $400.
And that kind of makes sense. So like $399 plus tax. And what kind of interested to me is the fact that they're going to have an even cheaper model.
I feel like they're going the same. They might go the same route as PlayStation 5. They might have like another console that's digital only.
Ooh.
So it's definitely going to be cheaper without a Blu-ray drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's possible that they may have maybe like a slightly cheaper one has like less storage space.
Yeah, because this one is I believe 1 terabyte, so I can see them having like a 500 gig version, maybe 850 or 750, something like that.
Hypothetically, given the 400 price point for the Xbox Series X versus like 550 for the PlayStation 5, you think that's the price difference is going to make a difference in their sales? You think?
Yeah, it's still very, very tough to say, but I personally don't think it will, only because of what we've seen so far from Xbox and what we've seen so far in terms of games that we saw from PlayStation. PlayStation has like a really strong lineup, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough. But I don't think personally that it will affect it too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
And to be honest with you, we still haven't seen
the full capacity of the Xbox because
or its exclusives. They haven't. They have. Like, we're gonna wait till the conference, but we still don't know what kind of exclusive games. The only thing we do know so far is that if you purchase Cyberpunk 2077 for a previous gen console, you'll get it for free immediately for the Xbox. PlayStation 5's pricing. I think they're still waiting for Xbox to release their pricing and maybe sort of match it, but for now we don't know what that is, so we're just gonna have to wait till in a couple of months when everything is
and in
released.
a way too, like it's kind of like a teetering point. Like basically the console is like more expensive, but they have better games, so kind of lowers it, whereas Xbox is cheaper but it doesn't have the games, so in a way both balance out.
Right. Let's talk about this now. The PlayStation 5 price and release date leaked by Amazon. So, according to this article, it was originally written on June 16, 2020. People all over the world, I think they said in France, Amazon France, they saw like a listing for the PlayStation 5, but it was listed at $500 US. So Sony themselves confirmed that these are just like placeholders, and Amazon has been known to do this type of stuff. When they know like an item is highly sought after, they'll just put a placeholder and make up some bogus number for the price. So they've been known to do this before. So if anyone sees like the listings on Amazon, like don't take it with a grain of salt. That's not the official prices yet.
And also too, like Amazon won't take the money. Like let's say if you pre-order right now at $500, they're not going to go ahead and charge it right then and there.
Yeah,
they're still going to wait for the final price to come through before they actually charge a credit card.
Yeah. Alrighty, rolling into our next article. Here's like a really, really big one that sort of shows how video games are transcending more as an entertainment medium, And
we talked about this in one of our news articles or news discussions, like episode 1, maybe episode 2.
Yeah.
Where we talked about how games are expanding to feature those who have disabled abilities, like either they can't read, or they can't see, they can't hear. So they're incorporating a lot of those elements and making gameplay for those specific needs.
Yeah, so this article just dropped a couple days ago. The FDA just approved the first prescription video game. It's for kids with ADHD. Before we continue, I just want to say that me and Talos aren't experts at this type of stuff. Neither one of us has ADHD or anything, so we're not claiming to be like experts or anything. Just in case, as a disclaimer. Let me read this real quick. It might not look like much of a video game, but Aquila Interactive's Endeavor RX, formerly Project Evo, may go down in history as the first video game that can legally be marketed and prescribed as medicine in the United States.
Wow.
According to the company's favorite of the 5 studies, that's a weird wording. The answer is yes. 1/3 of kids treated no longer had measurable attention deficit on at least one measure of objective attention after playing the obstacle dodging, target collecting games for 25 minutes a day, 5 days a week for 4 weeks.
So the gameplay that we see here is almost like like kind of what the description says. Like you're dodging these obstacles, that these purple bomb-looking objects, and making sure that you survive to the end of the race or objective here.
Yeah, the game only addresses the attention deficit part, but it doesn't address like all the other elements of that disorder. So it just targets that one specific thing, which is
for someone who doesn't know what the full extent of ADHD is. Can you briefly synopsis or summarize it?
So let's look at the definition for ADHD. It's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It's a mental disorder that can cause above normal levels of hyperactive and impulsive behavior. People with ADHD may also have trouble focusing their attention on a single task or sitting still for long periods of time. Both for adults and children can have ADHD. So according to this article, the game only addresses the attention part.
Yes.
It doesn't address all the other parts, like the hyperactivity and impulsive behavior.
Yes.
So it doesn't fully cover the whole spectrum. I have an autistic brother, and he's diagnosed with ADHD, and he uses what do you call that? Game like mobile games to help kind of calm him down and stuff. So I can definitely see the the benefits of this. And the best thing about it, it's not like medicine, right? It's like more you're not like injecting anything or giving someone medication, right? It's a little bit more it's more fun. Not as invasive.
It's more of a fun attempt to just help them out. And obviously this is definitely a positive movement, and if they can fine tune it even more, that's just beneficial to everyone around that who suffers from ADHD or those who has it. Yeah.
Also, the thing about it is video games are fun. It's not like taking medicine, right? You're like, it's not a chore. People with ADHD kids with ADHD would enjoy it. And I also
kids or adults?
It's kids actually, because they're saying it's targeting kids from ages 8 to 12.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think they specifically say that it's not meant to treat. It's meant to sort of supplement like an existing treatment.
Yeah.
Plan. How is this game any different from any other game that you can buy on Steam or the Switch?
Yeah, just looking at this image that you have right now, it's a very simple game in a way to like other games that we've seen, like in the PS5 press conference, for example.
Yeah.
The only difference here is that there's probably very limited controls, like left and right, up and down, maybe. There's probably no button combination that needs to be done, like a booster or anything like that, or firing missiles like a shooter game. So it's a lot more simplistic for sure. So in that regard, you could play other games similar to this, like Mario Kart would be a good example. Like obviously, there's more obstacles there, and not falling off the edge in some degrees. But for the most part, you can just play games like that, or platformers like Mario games. Nintendo in general has a very good library of games that can probably fit that criteria of helping those with ADHD.
Yeah. So like going into that thought, like one of the things I'm concerned with this whole thing is it's going to be you can only get it through prescription. Like a doctor has to actually prescribe it for you. And you know how like healthcare works here in the United States, right? Like sometimes like the prices for medicine is like jacked up. So who's to say?
So the price of this game is going to be like 3 times the price.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I highly doubt that they're going to make people pay $50 for this game. $50-$60. If it's going to be treated like medicine, I feel like it's going to be priced like medicine. So who knows how the likelihood that they might jack up the prices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
a big question too is like insurance. Like, will insurance cover you buying a game?
Exactly. How is this gonna fit into like an insurance thing, right? And what if people don't have health insurance, right? Like, how are they gonna be able to afford the game? I'm sure they're gonna set up like some like rules and stuff for this, right? So it's
regulations and all that.
Yeah, regulations and stuff. So that it doesn't go out of control. But at the moment, I feel like there's still a couple of things that need to be ironed out.
Yeah. But not to talk too much crap on it, but there's still a good stepping stone to improve. But as River mentioned, like there's still those key holes in there that we still need to refine some more before we can classify this as a legit medicine.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are rolling into Talos Tidbits. Now, this segment is sponsored by our Amazon affiliate links down below. Check it out if you guys are interested of like what equipment we use to produce these shows and our live streams. Now, our first news is going back into the PlayStation 5 reveal. Ratchet and Clank ripped apart. The new female character is actually a playable character as well, so that's good news. Rolling to Kingdom Hearts news. There's a new rhythm game coming to consoles later this year. Another Kingdom Hearts game rolling into is a logo that was presented that appears online, presenting a new Kingdom Hearts game. What this means, we just have to wait and see. For Persona fans out there, Persona 4 Golden is of course available right now for PC, and it's a definitive edition, and it's just a damn good game. So everyone check it out. It's available on Steam today. Some other teasers coming out. Activision possibly releasing a new Crash Bandicoot game with this mysterious looking little puzzle. Now, another article that was kind of interesting is the Resident Evil Village. Why it's not called Resident Evil 8? And the reason for that is because the entire village is actually going to be a character in itself. So we just have to wait and see what that really means. For Fortnite fans, it actually breaks the Twitch all-time concurrent viewer records after locking tons of players out of the event. Fans of Final Fantasy VII Remake, there's going to be a pop-up cafe opening this month. So if you guys like Final Fantasy VII and want to have some nice coffee, definitely check this out. I believe it's only in Japan, though. That's unfortunate. Finally, some little drama going on with PewDiePie. Basically, he's being used to advertise D-Live, even though he's exclusive to YouTube. What does that mean? I don't know. Maybe some legality issues. Obviously, if you guys want to check out any of the articles that we have, check it out in the description. Talos Tidbits. And that concludes this segment.
Moving on to Cyberpunk 2077 related news. So CD Projekt Red, the developers, released a statement today. And unfortunately, Cyberpunk is delayed even further. So here's their statement.
I think originally it was September, right?
Yes. So according to this, September 17th was supposed to be the release date. It got moved to November 19th.
I mean, there was an article basically saying that they don't want to release a game that's not finished yet. So as someone who appreciates like good games on launch day one, I actually like this idea. Now, it does suck that this is the second delay this year, at the same time, though, it's not that far off. And those that, because we also stream as well on Twitch, is actually kind of a nice little breathing room for us.
Yeah.
Because that way we can actually play some other games before the big one in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. I also wanted to point out that according to this, they said that the game itself is actually just finished. Like all the items, the cutscenes, the quests. It's all there. Like gameplay wise, everything is complete. What they're working on right now is just fixing, according to this, fixing bugs and balancing the mechanics. So
nothing logistical, right? Nothing logistical.
Yeah. So right now it's just like bugs and of course it's like a big world, right? So there's something's gonna go wrong somewhere. So they're just taking some extra time just to polish the game even further.
For that, I appreciate.
Yeah. So hypothetically, they can release this game right now. It's already being played by a couple of journalists, according to this. So people are already playing it and reviewing it. But they can hypothetically release this and then possibly like release like a day one patch or something like that, But
yeah,
I guess
that's what a lot of developers do is they release it kind of almost in a rush, but they still have that day one patch like you said, or they'll fix it later on.
Yeah. So this is like so many examples of this, right? Like Skyrim, when Skyrim first came out, right? It wasn't like a horribly broken or anything, but
but it was definitely littered with glitches for sure.
Yeah. And it's not like No Man's Sky, right? No Man's Sky, they released the game, and a lot of the stuff that they promised originally wasn't there. So Cyberpunk is definitely making sure that we get the best product
possible.
Possible for release date. And I've looked around like Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, and people seem to be okay with this. You were saying before that like you'd rather have like a polished product than like than a mess that was released too early, right?
Yeah, like a good quote that I heard online is basically is how the game is portrayed how it launches, not how it finishes. I believe it was
Yes.
said the opposite way with how Bethesda said it. I think Todd Howard actually mentioned is where it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But a lot of people are kind of going opposite to what you think, Todd.
No.
It's how you launch the game, not how you finish the game, because those first initial players are quote unquote your true fans. They actually pay the extra money to pre-order the game, to buy the game at launch, and then they want the game to be perfect at launch. Yes. But the fact that you're going to be patching it later as the game progresses, it actually doesn't do you any favors.
Yes.
So the fact that Cyberpunk is doing this at launch, that means all the core audience, their core fans, are going to be awarded for actually pre-ordering the game and buying the game at launch.
Yeah. Like you were saying, first impressions are everything, right? So that's exactly what CD Projekt Red is going for. And going back to Todd Howard, look at Fallout 76 right now, right? It started off as a horrible mess. They're slowly fixing it, but the damage has pretty much been done, right? No one's playing it. No one cares about it. Maybe a select few of players are playing, but I don't know. But I completely agree with you. I think releasing like a very polished product is the way to go. But I just wanted to point out that CD Projekt Red has such a good reputation in the gaming industry, for their transparency and honesty, and a lot of people just flat out love them, for that. And I feel like they can get away with this because of their reputation. People will say, oh, it's okay, just take your time. Wait a little while until you've ironed out the kinks and fixed up all the bugs, and then you can release it, right?
I mean, another example is Final Fantasy VII Remake. They delayed that game a month or two, I believe.
Yes.
And the final product was that much better, and it did marvelously in sales.
Yeah. And
because of their honesty and transparency for Square Enix. So Square Enix also had a bad rap before, but I feel like they kind of in the recent years, they definitely have gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I also wanted to point out what if EA did the same thing though? Like how do you think like people would react if EA did the same thing? Like for example, they're they push back the release date on Squadron, for example, and like, wait a minute, it's not the type of game that we'd that we want, so we're gonna push the release date a little further back. You know
what? I think that might actually make people on a more positive light for EA if they did that.
Oh yeah.
But another good example is Ubisoft. They release, if you recall, every single year they release a new Assassin's Creed. But I believe it was last year or 2 years ago. I forget when.
Yeah.
They said they were gonna not release an Assassin's Creed this year, polish it out, and release it next year. And there was an overwhelming amount of support for this as well.
Yeah, so there you go. People don't mind if you release your, you release your games at a later date, as long as you fix them.
All right, guys, we're rolling into the next article. If you guys are big in Pokemon, the Pokemon Presents event happened earlier this week. They list a couple of new games coming out. Some we're excited for, some that are just weird, and some we're just excited to see. I'm rolling into some of the big ones that I'm excited for. Pokemon Snap, the new Pokemon Snap, coming out for Nintendo Switch. Ooh, I am excited for this one. If you ever played the original one back at N64, this was a gem, like one of those surprise gems. Like you didn't when you originally think about it, just taking pictures of Pokemon wasn't very exciting, but for some reason it was a fun little game.
Well, was it really fun? I felt like the game was like very short and very.
It was, but it had a lot of, for me in particular, there's a lot of little achievements in there, like finding Mew and finding certain like poses for certain like special Pikachu's out there.
Yeah, getting Charizard to pop up with the volcano, right?
The volcano one was pretty cool with Charmander. Charmeleon, I believe, evolving into Charizard.
Yeah, I remember there was like a Charmeleon you're supposed to knock into the fire, and then he would come out as Charizard, right?
Yeah, but like little moments like that made the game really special, and it was only featuring the first generation of Pokemon. So I'm assuming this one's probably going to feature a lot of the generations. Yes. I'm definitely going to have to pick it up for my Switch.
And keep in mind that the first Pokemon Snap game came out for the very, very limited Nintendo 64. So you went from Nintendo 64 to Switch, which is like a couple of generations gap. And earlier I complained about Pokemon Snap being really, really short. I feel like hopefully this, the sequel is going to be massive.
I mean, if they're going to feature multiple generations, I would imagine so. Like, I'm pretty sure not every single Pokemon is going to be in here.
Yeah.
But there was a trailer release, and the graphics of it always beautiful. It's almost like you're watching a cinematic scene. Yeah, exactly. Watching like a little cinematic. The water, the rendering looks so good. Like this is definitely a much more realistic look, even more so realistic than the actual Sword and Shield. Now, Sword and Shield, obviously, the new DLC has been announced, and it finally lets you have a Pokemon follow you around. Now, this was used before in other games, like Pokemon Yellow, as an example. I believe who else had it? I think it was like Sun and Moon, possibly. I forget which generation had it, but I don't know why it was there initially. But that was kind of a cool feature to have. And there's also a tournament happening right now in Sword and Shield, where if you catch a certain Pokemon 1,000,000 times, that shiny version will also be available. So basically, there's a little competition that they're giving away. Basically, you can actually beat Zeraora 1,000,000 times collectively through the community. A shiny release.
Yeah.
So all the community jumping into this to collect it. It's a pretty cool achievement. So, and you get a free shiny out of it. Now, this is actually kind of like a kind of AR style thing, where obviously it is targeted to much little kids who just don't want to brush their teeth. Augmented reality adventure, I guess, where basically your objective is to brush your teeth, and basically there's like Pokemon inside of the like little objectives inside of your mouth that you're supposed to brush off, and then you can catch a Pokemon through this augmented app. And if you guys are into that for your little kids, you can download it right now.
Yeah, it's free on iOS and Android. Yeah, okay, so it says here, in Pokemon Cafe Mix, you're the owner of your own Pokemon Cafe, and you'll have to finish puzzles in order to complete orders. The Pokemon can even join the cafe staff, so get ready to give Snorlax his turn talking to for sleeping on the supply closet. When you join your staff, you get adorable little red shirts and scarves. Okay, so it's a puzzle game.
It's a little cutesy game. Definitely, if you're in a bathroom or you're waiting for a bus or something, maybe you can play it and check it out. But obviously, there's going to be another Pokemon Presents coming out later this next week. But once we find out more news on that, we'll definitely cover it for you guys.
Yeah, and it's free too, so.
And the big one for Pokemon Go fans, Mega Evolutions are now coming to Pokemon Go. There's a brief trailer on that as well. I'm not sure what the full gameplay is on that and how they're going to implement it into this generation of Pokemon Go, but more content for those Pokemon.
All right, that's it for the news for now. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned. We'll try to keep you updated on developing stories. And as always, if you like the video, you can always support us by liking and subscribing. And feel free to leave a comment down below.
And also, too, while you guys are down there, be sure to check out in the description our Amazon affiliate links if you guys are interested of like what equipment they we use to produce these shows, as well as our live streaming. And speaking of live streaming, guys, check out our Twitch channel where we're live streaming currently The Last of Us Part 2. So follow us there, check us out, and hopefully we'll see you in the stream.
This is Ribbon and Talos signing out. See you guys later.
There, guys.